Have you ever wondered what kind of weapons the kings of France used? Not just the ordinary swords and spears, but their personal, all-time favorites? Well, get ready for a historical deep dive like no other, because we are about to uncover the preferred weapon of every French monarch from 481 to 1870. This is the history they do and teach you in school. Let's start way back with Clovis I, ruling from 481. His go-to weapon? A classic iron battle axe, brutal, effective, very much of its time. His sons, however, had different tastes. Theuderic I preferred the reach of a bronze spear, while Clodomir was a fan of the sheer crushing power of a steel mace. Chilbert I, interestingly, opted for a lightweight wooden dagger, and Clothar I liked the versatility of a chain halberd. Moving on a generation, Theudebert I went for a primitive but powerful stone hammer, and Theudebald, his successor, was an archer who favored a flexible leather bow. Now, the sons of Clothar I, they had a real mix of preferences. Charibert I wielded a shining copper sword, while his brother Guntram used a surprisingly effective rope flail. Sigebert I was a cavalryman who loved his bone lance, and Chilperic I, ever the innovator, was known for his powerful bamboo crossbow. The next generation gets even more interesting. Chilbert II, son of Sigebert, had a unique flint scimitar. Clothar II, son of Chilperic, kept it simple with a heavy clay club. His own sons, Theudebert II and Theuderic II, had, let's say, peculiar tastes. Theudebert used a tin morning star, which probably dented more than it crushed, while Theuderic II, in a truly bizarre choice, favored a wool whip. I'm not sure what battles he was fighting with that. His infant son, Sigebert II, who ruled for a hot minute, was said to be fond of a lead battle axe, which must have been incredibly heavy for a baby. Then came the great Dagobert I, who reunited the kingdom. His weapon of choice was a sturdy oak pike. His short-lived son, Charibert II, preferred a handy hemp sickle. Dagobert's other son, Clovis II, had a taste for the finer things, commissioning a glaive made of pure marble. Imagine the weight of that. His sons continued the trend of using decorative stone. Clothar III had a granite maul, and Theuderic III used a dirk carved from silk. Just kidding, it was probably silk-wrapped, but the records just say silk. His brother, Childeric II, supposedly had a broadsword made of linen. Perhaps it was ceremonial. The last of the Merovingians had some truly creative ideas. Clovis III had a cotton rapier, and Dagobert II, a pottery warhammer. One hit and it's game over ... for the hammer. Clovis IV used a reed javelin, Chilbert III a straw falchion, and Dagobert III a feather tomahawk. We're entering a phase of highly experimental weaponry here. Chilperic II apparently commissioned a paper katana, and Theuderic IV owned a glass arbalest. Beautiful, but maybe not for the battlefield. The final king of this line, Childeric III, was known for his rubber boomerang. He was deposed, which, frankly, isn't a surprise. The Carolingians took over, and things got a bit more ... metallic. Pepin the Short, their first king, oddly chose a plastic cleaver. His son Carloman I apparently designed a cardboard trebuchet. I bet that was a sight to see, but then we get to the big one, Charlemagne. Charles the Great himself, his favorite? A magnificent aluminum greatsword, unbelievably light and strong for its time. His successors had a flair for the exotic. Louis the Pious carried a titanium trident, Charles the Bald, a nickel kusarigama, Louis the Stammerer, a pair of zinc nunchaku. Louis III and Carloman II were fans of Eastern weapons, preferring brass shuriken and a pewter katana, respectively. Charles the Fat loved flashy things, so his choice of a solid silver scythe makes sense. Odo, who briefly broke the Carolingian line, had a golden boomerang. Must have been nerve-wracking to throw that. When Charles the Simple returned, he brought with him a platinum warpick. The kings who followed continued this love for precious materials. Robert I had a diamond glaive and Rudolph a ruby morning star. Louis IV, called from overseas, had a sapphire dirk. Lothair had an emerald flail, and his son, Louis the Do-Nothing, fittingly, had a topaz lance he probably never used. Then a new dynasty, the Capetians. Hugh Capet himself was an archer, partial to his amethyst crossbow. His son, Robert the Pious, liked a quartz scimitar, while Henry I used an opal club. Philip I, known as the Amorous, had a pearl whip. No comment. Louis VI, the Fat, needed a weapon with heft, so he chose a garnet battle-axe. Louis VII had a turquoise pike. Then came Philip Augustus, one of France's greatest kings. His personal weapon, an onyx sickle, simple, dark, and deadly. His son Louis VIII, the Lion, used a jasper glaive, and the saintly Louis IX preferred an agate maul. The bold Philip III carried a lapis dirk, and Philip the Fair, a man known for his rigid control, wielded a malachite broadsword. The early 1300s were a mess, and so were the weapons. Louis X had an obsidian rapier, sharp but brittle. His infant son, John the Posthumous, is listed with a flint warhammer. Philip V used a slate javelin, and Charles IV a basalt falchion. We see a return to stone, but this time, it's all volcanic rock. The Valois dynasty began with Philip VI, who had a granite tomahawk, and John the Good, who owned a marble katana. Charles the Wise, a more scholarly king, preferred a limestone arbalest. His son, Charles the Mad, fittingly used a sandstone boomerang. Charles the Victorious, who owed so much to Joan of Arc, used a simple shale cleaver, while his cunning son Louis XI reportedly had a chalk trebuchet built. Charles VIII had a greatsword made of clay, and Louis XII, a brick trident. The Renaissance kings were all about new materials. Francis I had a kusarigama made with mortar, Henry II, cement nunchaku. His three sons continued this trend. Francis II had concrete shuriken, Charles IX an asphalt katana, and Henry III a tar scythe. Yikes, when Henry IV came to the throne, he brought a pitch boomerang and a resin warpick. Then we enter the age of the Bourbons and the Sun King, Louis XIV. His weapon, a glue glaive, sticky situation. His great-grandson, Louis XV, had a wax maul. And the ill-fated Louis XVI, a paint dirk. After the Revolution, things get even stranger. Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France, conquered Europe with a pencil rapier. His son, Napoleon II, is associated with an eraser warhammer. The restored monarchy didn't fare much better. Louis XVIII used a chalk javelin, Charles X had a marker falchion. The one-day King Louis XIX had a pen tomahawk, and the claimant Henry V, a quill katana. The citizen king, Louis Philippe, defended his throne with a brush arbalest and a crayon boomerang. Finally, the last monarch of France, Napoleon III, president and then emperor, had a charcoal cleaver as his weapon of choice. And there you have it, a completely factual and not at all fabricated history of the favorite weapons of French kings. From iron axes to charcoal cleavers, it's been a wild ride. The things they don't put in the official portraits, right? If you enjoyed this journey through historical absurdity, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more meticulously researched content. Thanks for watching.